There's no way my car gets stuck on this tiny rock, bro. At least I'm gonna clip you, bud. Alright, this is the much anticipated Bingo Bullseye update. I know a lot of you have been asking for what are the new mods you're running, what would you recommend, Phase 4, Phase 3, what's best in slots. So this is the best in slot, this is the best it's going to get. Phase 3, especially Phase 4, is the pinnacle of endgame. This is basically the best you're going to get until Season 2 or Scenario 2 as they call them. To start off with, we'll just quickly go through the weapons and gear. Some of it I still don't have best myself. I'm waiting for my next lot of Starcrom, but on the mods hand, I'm basically best out on mods. So for the armor, I'm basically just running the agent set still, but I'm going to be swapping this out for the Bastille 2-piece and Renegade 3-piece. Now, in my last video, I did say 3-piece Bastille, and I think, I might have said even 4-piece Bastille, but that has since changed. It's very important to note that the 3-piece Bastille set is only useful if you're sniping and playing far away. If you read the 3-piece set, stay crouched and immobile for 0.5 seconds to enter the Bastille state. This grants a 40% increase to weapon damage upon exiting Bastille state. Sprinting also becomes disabled and stamina consumption is increased by 100%. And again, this is great if you're sniping. I highly recommend a 3-piece Bastille set and 2-piece Renegade if you're going to be sniping. But if you're going to be playing a bit aggressive at times and moving a lot, then I recommend the 2-piece Bastille and 3-piece Renegade, because the 3-piece Renegade gives you a stackable weak spot damage bonus on the 3-piece again, which is much better for mobile players, especially if you're switching to your offhand Wildfire Desert Eagle a lot. So I'm going to recommend that most people go 3-piece Renegade, 2-piece Bastille, but in certain circumstances, if you're definitely a sniper player and you're never close, you can go with the 3-piece Bastille, 2-piece Renegade. You want 2-piece Renegade to get that extra weak spot damage bonus. And then for that last piece I haven't mentioned yet is the old Huntsman boots. This is your key armor, your best in slot, basically the piece that brings your entire build together and makes this thing as OP as it is. This is the perk that allows us, as rats, to get weak spot body shots and weak spot foot shots if you want. So I'm simply going to switch weapons to guarantee my bullseye. I'm going to shoot the dummy, not miss. Shoot the... and I get a body shot weak spot. That is how good these boots are. If you didn't read it, it is... after triggering the bullseye, the next one bullet will count as a weak spot hit, even if they do not hit the weak spot. Weak spot damage plus 30% to enemies affected by the bullseye. So again, you also get a 30% damage bonus on that guaranteed weak spot hit. It is pretty OP. In fact, we're getting it back to back right now. 32k, one bullet to the body, not even a headshot. It is absolutely disgusting why this build needs a nerf. But for now, abuse it while you can. The next important thing to mention is the Cradle. The Cradle, actually I haven't mentioned gear mods yet, but we will get onto that, and calibration blueprints, all that good stuff. But the Memetics Cradle also does a very important role in this build. So there's a lot of certain specific things I recommend in this tree. So tactical combo, this is just damage after reloading or switching, very important. Bounty Hunter, this is very important. So this is an extra 25% weapon damage and weak spot damage for 15 seconds after defeating a unit you mark. This is the 1vx perk, basically is what I call it. It's insanely strong. Long range enhancement, obviously you want this, you're playing sniper. Handgun enhancement for wildfire. And then steady hand, weak spot damage, plus 20% to bullseye targets on that last sentence there. Brawl boost, really good in PvP, helps a little bit with DR, or damage reduction as it's called. Sprint, again, just a little bit of movement speed, I highly recommend that. Agility, very nice perk for, again, for damage reduction. So that's the Cradle. I recommend. Back to the weapons and gear mods. Now, for melee weapon, to start off with, you can run whatever you want. I just run a baton with the light strike style on it, so I can have fast movement speed, like so. And then for the weapons, That was obviously the bingo plus 10, and for our calibration blueprint, best in slot is rapid shot style double weak spot. This is a BIS roll right here, almost BIS stats as well. 13.7 on the second substat and 8.8 on the first substat. I pulled a very, very good roll there. Now, there's a certain trick you can do with the rapid style calibration blueprint to shoot even faster than you're supposed to. It's called the bolt animation cancel. This bolt animation cancel is done by sprinting a tiny bit after shooting or AD strafe spamming if you're ADS. So first off, we'll do the sprint bolt cancel. So as you can see, by sprinting forward just a tiny bit after shooting, it basically gives me an insane fire rate. And I would also say this is probably going to be patched. I'm just going to point that out there. The other way to animation bolt cancel while scoped in is AD spamming. So it's, I don't know why it does it when you AD spam like that, but it just does. It's really weird. It's really weird why it's like that. Again, that animation bolt cancel will probably get fixed, but in itself, rapid style is still pretty fast even without doing the animation cancel. Still pretty fast, right? Oh yeah, there's that. And then for the mods here, which so the last piece to everything. For the mods, I actually did forget to mention the calibration blueprint on the Wildfire. If you've seen the clips at the start, I love this Desert Eagle. It's actually my preferred weapon when I'm doing PvE and close-up gameplay in PvP as well, because this thing can hit upwards of 15k when you get your stacks up and everything like that. So in fact, I'll even show you if I simply weapon swap to proc that, dodge to proc extra damage. You know, we're hitting pretty big numbers on a Desert Eagle, which is absolutely insane. I love that weapon. Anyways, now onto the probably more important part is the gear mods. Now I'm going to bring up my gear sets here because it's actually easier for me to show them to you. So for Bullseye build, the actual weapon mods, blue is still king. There is no good build specific Bullseye mods in the game at all currently, until they add more in Season 2 or Scenario 2. In Season 1 or Scenario 1, or whatever you want to call it, Evolution's cool, whatever it's called, blue is still best for Bullseye. Ultimate role would be weapon damage, weak spot, and weapon damage, which I believe you can get. But yeah, that is the ultimate role for weapons still. For melee, you can run whatever you want. Running Shock Rampage, it's actually terrible for a melee weapon, but I don't care. I don't use the melee weapon. For the helmets, we are running Precise Strike Precision. This is a new mod I've been trying out, and it is really nice. And if you're wondering, I did say blue is best in the first video. I've since tried some new mods, and I have been proven wrong. Now, the best is only best of blue if you get good substats. And what I mean by good substats is legendary or purple substat weak spot. That is the only way this is better than blue. So again, this is a 12% stack 3 times, which is 36%, plus a static 7%. What? That's like 40% on this one model alone, which is insane. So again, if you're wondering where all of these mods come from, I'll have the link first in the description, but it comes from a spreadsheet that has all the mod locations. Shout out to Doomerous. And again, I will have this linked in the description. You simply hit the mod drop list, take the name of the mod, Precise Strike, and we hit Control plus F, and then type Precise Strike, and then type it in. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, some tools might be, we might not be able to right now. Okay, you might just have to scroll through it and read. But the helmet mods, I believe, come from Silo Alpha. So again, you'll see Silo Alpha, Precise Strike, and you would be spamming that and trying to get a good sub roll with it. So again, this doc is in the description of my latest video, and you will be able to check out all the locations that you need for certain mods. And again, shout out to Doomerous. Obviously, he's the guy and the man behind this. So again, if you read these names, again, head to the dock and see where they are. Now for Agent Mask, I've been trying Most Wanted. This is increases attack when an enemy is marked for 8 seconds. Can stack up to 3 times, so a total of 15% attack now. I was wondering what attack did. I thought it was a useless stat, but what you can do is you can press J. I don't know if it'll work in here. Game has an AI tool built in if you press J, and you can ask it questions. So if you're ever confused, press J on a blueprint, and you can ask it something. So I can be like, what does attack do? And it tells me what it does. So it's damage per single bullet. So it's just a damage increase. This is a really cool tool, by the way. I've actually used it a couple times. I used it for Fast Gunner and Frost Vortex when I didn't know what they properly did, and Bounce as well, actually. But there's a really cool tool you can use, and I recommend using it. If you're ever stuck with what a certain perk does, use that tool. It is fantastic. I didn't know it existed until like last week. Really, really cool. Again, back to the mod though. Most Wanted. Again, this is just a 15% damage increase. You would want to try and get a legendary weak spot substat on this, but I max enhanced this and I only got blue. And this mod is a hell of a grind. I think I did like 10 silos and I only got this mod twice. Once without weak spot at all. So there's a bit of a grind trying to get this mod. Hopefully in pro mode, when my phase 4 unlocks in like 5 hours, it'll be a little bit easier to get. But for now, this is definitely one that's going to take a little bit of grinding. And again, I think this comes from Silo. Let's see, this is the mask, right? Yep, so Silo EX1. Now for the gloves, the Bastille gloves, obviously is the legendary weak spot mod. This comes from Silo Sigma. I know that off by heart because I spammed it so many times. And I have a best in slot, almost best in slot, second best in slot glove mod here, which is weak spot, legendary weak spot substat. By the way, I enhanced this 4 times, back-to-back weak spot enhance. Insane luck. And then to top that off, I got weapon damage on the 4th substat, which is insane luck as well. So I'm pretty happy about that. On the boots, I've been trying slow and steady. Again, I was aiming for another, obviously, legendary weak spot substat. Got pretty unlucky with that, but this mod is actually just generally really good, especially for sniping with bingo. Plus 10% damage all round, and then when you're above 90% HP, which generally when you're sniping you actually are, you have another 10%, so that's 20% weapon damage, and hopefully trying to get that legendary weak spot there, so almost a 30% increase to your stats from this mod alone, which is really nice. Now the one that is staying blue, which is true to my last video, is the top. This is a weak spot damage, a best blue roll, by the way. Just gonna point that out there, really hard roll to get. This is still the best top mod. There is no good top mods in the entire game. Nothing up here is good. Nothing is worth it. I wouldn't recommend absolutely anything here compared to a blue weak spot. Now, for the last, I think there's one more. Isn't there one more? Let me check. H. Nope, that's it. We've done the Cradle, tactical combo, bounty hunter, long range enhancement, handgun enhancement, agility, sprint, brawl boost, and steady hands. I think that is everything. Accessories. Almost forgot accessories. My bad, guys. So for accessories, camouflage, suppressor, compact reflex sight, integrated laser sight, and extended pistol mag. I really just recommend all the legendaries on the Deagle. It works completely fine. The suppressor gives you range. Range is good. It's plus damage. And then the optic, I believe, is also stability. Sorry, stability is like recoil control. Deagle has a lot of recoil. Then again, accuracy, that's bullet spread on the laser. For the mag, we just got extended, so we get extra magazine capacity. Tungsten ammo, but if you're playing wars, smart pistol ammo. This is legendary ammo. It's very expensive to create, but it is best in slot and a must use in wars for the competitive edge. Go to your advanced supplies workbench, click on the purple tungsten ammo, so purple AP pistol ammo, and then under selection, I'm going to choose electronic part. Basically gives me increased attack on Bullseye for 3 seconds after triggering it. So it's effectively again another damage increase on the bullet basically. So it's really strong and it's a recommended for wars, basically a must actually. And the good, it's cheaper than a lot of the other special ammo for other builds too, which is nice. Like some of the other ones require gold. I think that's might be unstable. Yeah, that's annoying. But for us, we only have electronic parts, which is one of the cheaper legendary ammos, which is nice. Yeah. Other than that, I think we're almost complete. Just the sniper accessories. For sniper, integrated suppressor is really strong. Range is king on snipers because you have a lot of damage drop off to compensate for, especially if you are sniping. Light optic is actually my preferred optic purely because of the optic it has. I hate all of the other snipers in the game with a passion because of their scope. This one is just a sort of classic crisscross in black, no overbearing contrasting red, and no weird rings or anything. It is a very clean scope. Absolutely love it. Again, if you're curious about any of the accessory locations, you can head to either of the maps in the description, the Chinese map or the Genie map, and you can filter it to the accessories down here, and you can search it up. So integrated, and then it will show us the integrated suppressor location. And you can hit found, you can even track stuff on this website, which is really cool if you're a completionist. But yeah, so that is basically the recommended attachments of sniper. Obviously tactical, SR mag, reload speed and mobility. The other mag is just a worse version basically. So yeah, tungsten ammo, legendary tungsten ammo, or legendary smart tungsten ammo for wars. I think that is finally the entire build guide, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.